Alrighty guys, it is Qaaman here today, and today we're going to have an honest, free-flowing conversation about a subject that many Dragon Ball fans have thought about and discussed over the course of many years, but never publicly for very obvious reasons, as you can tell by the title of this video. And as part of the human species, it's imperative that we discuss things that may be a harsh reality, instead of trying to act like they don't exist and hide from them. So, for today's video, we are going to discuss Nozawa currently being 86 years old. Now, the first thing that we should talk about in today's video is the fact that it's been an extreme disservice to Nozawa, specifically, that Dragon Ball Super has not returned sooner. Now, of course, it's very easy to be selfish in a situation like this, but the honest truth is, it's a disservice to Nozawa because at an advanced age, every single year that goes by is a very, very, very valuable year. And I feel like Super not returning earlier is a lot harsher to her because you have to consider health issues that may arise in the future and how she feels about it, because she's also an individual that can change her mind on the subject. But before we go deeper into that, I feel like it's important that we start off by talking about how much of an inspiration, a legend, and a pillar of strength that Nozawa has actually been to the Dragon Ball community itself. Because, personally, I can say that when I first heard Nozawa, I was about 12 or 13 years old, and I was watching a DVD on the Cell games when Gohan was turning Super Saiyan to fight the Cell Juniors, and I accidentally put it on Japanese, but just continued watching it anyways, and I heard it, and I wasn't a fan of what I was hearing. The voices were different, the music was different, it was a totally different experience, and I can say that getting into the subbed version of Dragon Ball is definitely an acquired taste. It's not something that you can take right away if you're used to the American English dub. And obviously, if you're a native English speaker, you want to hear something in your language. But as time has moved on, and as I've evolved with Dragon Ball, I've truly gotten a serious appreciation for how amazing Nozawa is, especially considering the fact that she voices numerous key characters throughout the show. You know, not just Goku. So, the thing about all of this is that it's really a disservice to her, her life, and her health, but it's also something that you look at it and you say you can't really imagine anybody else ever doing these voices because she did these voices so iconically and at such a high level for so long. You know, it's kind of like you have a professional athlete who's been the face of a certain league for years, like Tom Brady, for example. Like, if he's been the face of the NFL for decades now, you can't really imagine anybody else just coming in and just filling in his shoes. It's something that you have to get used to, kind of like when Michael Jordan retired for 3 times. You know, so looking at all of that and just discussing how iconic she actually is, and the fact that she's still voicing and doing other things like movies and video games and all of these commercials and so on and so forth, it's truly incredible what she's done and the stature that she has brought to the voice acting community, to the point where years ago it was actually revealed by Tanaka, the voice actress for Luffy in the One Piece series. She actually mentioned that who she would want as a replacement for herself is Nozawa, who's currently older than her. And that was a really amazing thing that she said, and the fact that Nozawa responded to her saying that Nozawa could do this until she's 100 or even 128 years old. Which goes to show that even though this was a few years ago, Nozawa is very happy about what she's doing in life and the fact that she's enjoying this. And it's one of those things where I have a lot of older family members that often say that doing things that normal people do at an advanced age is what keeps them alive and healthy, you know, and keeps them longing for more life, you know. And in a situation like this, I could definitely understand that for Nozawa, who would say she would want to voice act until she's 128 years old. But at the same time, you know, you have to think about this from a personal point of view. But if you go back to Japan specifically, we could also say that Japan is actually known for this, because if you look at statistics, Japan usually ranks very high worldwide when it comes to natural lifespans. They don't always rank number 1, but they're generally in the top 5, and Obviously, this would show that it's pretty normal to see somebody live up until their late 80s, early 90s over in Japan. So when we factor all of this in, guys, the biggest part about all of this is you have to look at this from a personal point of view, right? And from a personal point of view, if I had a mother that was 86 years old, and currently Nozawa is old enough to be the parent of both of my parents, would I want my 86-year-old mother or even my 86-year-old father to be doing this at their age? Now, you have to start thinking about it personally, and obviously I don't know Nozawa, but I do truly love her as a person because of what she has done for the Dragon Ball community, what she has done in life, in the way that you can love an athlete in terms of how they can inspire you and stuff. So I do deeply care about her as a person. And I truly feel in my heart that it's just asking a lot to have an 86-year-old woman doing this. Even if she enjoys doing it, and even if she's the most iconic voice out there for Goku, some part of me on the inside just feels like this isn't right. Now, obviously, it's easy to say that, and it's easy to bring up artificial intelligence, right? Because if we look at Nozawa, her health seems to be fine, and I've looked up reports before recording this video, and there's nothing negative about her health, and she sounds good. But we have to use an American translation of how we can look at this with the Star Wars community and look at the situation that is going on with James Earl Jones. Now, for those of you who don't know, in the recent Kenobi series that came out months ago, there's actually a Ukrainian artificial device called a re-speecher that essentially recreated James Earl Jones's voice as Darth Vader, as he officially retired from the actual role. And this is actually very incredible technology that is out there, because you can essentially just take, somebody who's voiced a character and essentially monetize their voice, or I don't even want to say monetize, but you can perpetuate their voice by simply just using lots of samples that have existed over the course of many years. And even though Nozawa still sounds good, it kind of gets to the point where, can we imagine somebody else using a re-speecher for Nozawa? The reason why is because even if it sounds 99.99% accurate, the problem with all of that is that it just won't have that human element. And there's just this certain beautiful human element that she adds to the characters that we don't want to see gone. But at the same time, is it actually best for her, and is it okay for us as Dragon Ball fans to be comfortable putting this amount of weight on her elderly back? Is that honestly fair to her? You say so in the comment section below.